today we're being joined by Ally Dallaway from the Richmond AFLW side, who's moved from the GWS Giants to the Richmond Football Club. Ally, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Very excited to be on.
I appreciate it. So now you must be loving your time in the AFLW so far, because you've gone from playing alongside the best young player in the competitions in Ally Dallaway to now playing alongside the best player in the competition, Mon Conti. It doesn't get much better than that for yourself, Ally.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such an honour to be able to play with Mon. Just seeing how she goes about it at training, and we haven't, been in full training yet, but just seeing her in this locker training has been awesome. Ally, she's an absolute superstar for her age. It's actually crazy to think that she's just 18, 19 years old, and some of the things that she's able to do on the field is insane. So it's quite scary where she's going to go in the next few years. But it's been awesome being able to play alongside those absolute superstars.
That's right. Now, obviously, in your own journey into football was a little bit different to some. So tell us a bit about that journey for you and what got you into footy.
Yeah, so a bit of a different journey, obviously, to the Auskick pathway. So I grew up playing netball since I was about 6 years old. So I grew up in Western Sydney, in New South Wales. So that was very rugby league dominated, and touch football and netball and all that sort of thing. So AFL wasn't really around when I was growing up. So when I was younger, I played netball, did all the netball academies, and played touch footy. So was a very sporty person growing up. And AFL was sort of never on the cards, never even really heard of it when I was younger. But once I got to high school, I still played netball, and then I was sort of getting a bit over it and wanted to try something new. And this was when AFL Women's was becoming a lot bigger. And I think it was the year that the comp started. So I was in year 12, and I was playing netball and was sort of wanting to move on. And then my high school teacher at the time, he was like, why don't you try AFL? So I just gave it a go, and I was the sports captain in high school. So we started the first ever women's AFL team at my high school, which was pretty cool. And then just played that. And then my local comp in the AFL Sydney League, East Coast Eagles, they were starting their first ever women's team that year in 2017. So I decided to give that a go, and just thought, why not? Just do it for fun, see what happens. And then played there for a few years and really loved it there. And I was lucky enough to have connections through there with the Giants, and that's how I got involved with the Giants. I did a few seasons with their winter program that they had, and I from there got into Giants. And it was a bit of a different sort of pathway to get into Giants. So I didn't actually go through the draft. So I was a replacement player in 2021. One of our players fell pregnant, and then there was a injury replacement player who wasn't myself, and then she did her ACL, and so I was her replacement player. So I eventually got there, but it was a bit of a bittersweet story to get into that way with an injury, but it worked out really well, and so happy to be in Richmond now.
And so, obviously, in that time you mentioned that 2021, that draft, it didn't eventuate your way, and you mentioned the injury replacement place and someone falling pregnant. And how were you first told in that moment? Obviously, it was an interesting journey as well, as you mentioned, and then an interesting process to actually get selected as well. So did you have any inkling once GWS had those injuries and pregnancy that you could be going there? Did you have any inkling that could happen at all?
Yeah, so in the lead up to the draft, obviously I at that time you had to nominate your state. So I did nominate New South Wales, and this was before the Swans were in, so it was just Giants that I was hoping to go to. And I was sort of in amongst a few players that were looking at getting drafted. So I was sort of in conversations with them and the coach at the time, Alan McConnell, about potentially getting drafted. And when he told me, he called me and he said that I wasn't getting drafted that year. So I kind of thought that it was off the cards. And then obviously when Em Goodser, she fell pregnant that year because she's a midfielder, I thought, I might have a shot here because, we're quite similar players. And then that didn't happen. So I thought, oh, definitely not then. So I kind of had, it was out of my mind, and I was like, yeah, no, this is not going to happen. Maybe I'll just try next year. So I started to think about next year, and then when Alan called me and he said that Isadora unfortunately had done her ACL, I was so shocked, because obviously I've had completely had it out of my mind, and I think that ended up being a good thing, because I was so shocked, and it just added to the excitement. And I couldn't believe it when I told my parents. We were all just so excited, and it was in the middle of COVID, so it was just the most exciting thing ever.
Sure. So just to stick with the timeline of the Giants for now, obviously you made your debut for the Giants in 2022. Do you remember that day very well, although it was only a few years ago? Do you remember that day and how special it was for you when you made your AFLW debut as well for the Giants?
Yeah, it was awesome. I will never forget that day. We were playing Gold Coast in Mackay. So it's just an interesting place to have your debut. Like, it's an away game, and it was also in the middle of COVID, like I said. So it was a bit strange how we were doing everything in the lead up, because obviously COVID and stuff like that, and we weren't sure if our families were going to be able to come and things like that. But in the end they got there, so we got mum and dad there, and it was awesome. And to get the win on that day as well, it was awesome. And I think having it away as well, it just added to the excitement, get to travel with the team, and just sort of experience life on the road and a debut. It was pretty cool. And I'm so glad we came away with the win. But it was a bit weird, because we couldn't touch anyone like across the fence. So when the game ended and I went up to our parents, we were like, because of COVID, we couldn't hug or anything. So it was a bit strange in that sense, but it was awesome. It's definitely something I won't forget, because it was in the middle of COVID. So
Sure. And then now, obviously, as you mentioned, you're originally from Sydney, and you obviously played the Giants, played 30 games, and coincidentally wearing the jumper number 30 as well at that point in time. So what kind of prompted the move outside of GWS to move out of your home state to Richmond, in particular in Melbourne? Because obviously, as you mentioned, because once you made your debut, you'd played every game since and were a regular part of that Giants side. So what kind of prompted that change of scenery for you?
Obviously lucky enough to be able to play every game for the Giants, and absolutely loved my time there. But it was just one of those things, was coming to the end of my contract, and my manager was going through contract talks and things like that. And when the Richmond interest was on the card, I just thought I'd chat to them and just see how things went, and just to weigh up my options. And then I think it was just time for a change and a different scenery. And obviously, growing up in Sydney, footy's not that big down there. Well, it's getting there now, but growing up it wasn't. So to be able to come to Melbourne, which is basically the home of footy, and just to experience that, and I think that was what really influenced my decision, was to be in amongst all of the of what Melbourne has to offer down here. And obviously, talking to Richmond, they're an awesome club as well. So it was definitely hard to say no to them, because of what they presented with their coaches, and obviously the girls, and there's some superstar players in there. So I think it was more just looking for a change, and loved my time at the Giants. So it was such a hard decision to leave, because obviously you make really good friends with all the girls, and some of them I'm still very close with now. So it was more of a footy decision than anything. So it was sort of just weighing up, is it friendships, or is it my footy career? So it was it was tough, but I'm super happy to be here now.
So you mentioned when Richmond had shown interest, were you kind of considering that move before the Richmond interest, or that you got told of that, or was that something that just kind of happened once you heard they were interested? And were there any other clubs in Victoria or elsewhere interested as well?
No, there wasn't. So it wasn't something that I was exactly thinking about during my time at the Giants. I did think that I would be there for a while, and then obviously things happen, and you obviously come to the end of your contract and the talks start again. So contract security was a big thing for me, and I think this was probably the best place that I was going to get it at this time. So that I think it was yeah, it was more towards the end of the season. So I didn't really have many thoughts about it during the year. But yeah, it was when that trade period was sort of approaching, that was when the talks really started to happen. But yeah, no, Richmond was basically just the only one. So.
That's a key centre game for yourself, Ally, that I remember without even having to look anything. I was against Gold Coast. It was last year. I think it was towards the back end of the year. Have had possessions in the 20s range. Obviously, the midfield obviously is a position that you want to play, and I'm sure that's something that Richmond have addressed for you to play alongside Mon and Ally McKenzie and Grace Egan as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a big thing to come to Richmond and to be in such an awesome midfield already. And I'm going to learn so much from them, and I have already. So yeah, it's awesome to be able to be in amongst those girls. And obviously coming to a midfield that's so strong, it's also sort of put things into perspective about my own game and, what I need to work on and how can I become a better player. And, nothing's just going to be given to me. So obviously it's such a strong midfield already. So there's things that I need to work on, and also it might give me the opportunity to learn a different role as like a half forward or something like that, to just add more elements to my game. And I think, having a lot of depth in our midfield would be really good, especially with, heaps of injuries, and Richmond had quite a few injuries last year as well. So I think just building that depth will be really good.
It's a pretty cool first full circle moment too, Ally, as well. I don't know if you remember one of your very first interviews on the Giants website with Chloe Dalton in particular, and you were talking about players you looked forward to playing like and amongst basically, and you mentioned Mon Conti. So it's kind of like a full circle moment that without knowing back then, you end up being there after mentioning Mon Conti in that question.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I do think about that back in the day when I first started at Giants. When people would ask me who my favourite player is, I would always say Mon Conti. And it's true, because when I first started watching AFLW, she was my favourite player that I like to watch. I've always thought she's such an exciting player, and she's a superstar, and to see where she is now, it's amazing. And I never thought I'd see the day where I'd be actually being her teammate and being in the midfield with her. So it's actually awesome to think about it in that way. But I'll have to not tell her that I was calling her my favourite player.
If they haven't found that clip already. Obviously, you're a stranger to coming to the Giants a lot, from the Giants to the Tigers alone. Obviously, got a fellow teammate, well, now it's still a current teammate, Jodie Hicks, coming along as well from the Giants. Yeah,
we're actually housemates as well, so that's been pretty cool. So, I actually had no idea that Jodie was moving until pretty much just before the trade period. So in the whole lead up, I didn't know that anyone else was moving from the Giants. So I think, to hear Jodie, that she was coming as well, just added to the excitement. And I was like pretty close to Jodie at the Giants anyway. So to know that she was coming as well made my decision, made me really happy with my decision, because I was going to do it with someone that I've experienced Giants with, and to come to this club as well. And now that we're living together, so it's been pretty cool. It's always nice to have someone to do it with, because obviously it's such a big change. So to have some sort of element of home is great.
Obviously, as well, coming to Richmond. So who? I'm sure Mon will get mentioned here. And maybe who's some others too, Ally, that you feel that you're looking most forward to playing alongside in official games in later on in the year?
Definitely Katie Brennan, just to have. Obviously, she's a superstar and she's our captain, but just how skillful she is on the field, and how she's an amazing player, and seeing some of the things she does on the field is just incredible. So I'm definitely excited to be able to play with her. And Ally McKenzie, she's another one. She's an amazing player, and both Ellie and Katie, their skills are insane. So just seeing what they can do is amazing, and obviously Mon as well. But I think they're the main ones, definitely.
That's good. Now, obviously, in your 30 games, obviously you haven't kicked a goal yet. I'm sure that's one thing. I'm sure that's on your mind to do, and you kind of get to do that re-debut all over again. As you mentioned, the Giants through the COVID a bit hard. Well, this time for your Richmond debut, well, it should be all good with that side of things at least.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for reminding me about the no goal yet. That's definitely something I've been wanting to do. I keep saying I'm going to kick a goal soon, and it hasn't happened yet. But maybe new colours and a new team that'll help me get there. But it's a long way away, the debut. Like, obviously we've got to get through pre-season and everything, and just focus on the process of getting there. But yeah, definitely excited for when that day comes. It'll be a different atmosphere to what I experienced for my first one, but it's nice to be able to have that again.
For sure. Ally, you might, as I said, we might not keep the going, but it just makes it even sweeter though when it does happen, because you've had a longer wait and it's a new club, and it just makes it even more special too.
Yeah, definitely. And the Richmond fans are awesome, and hopefully it'll be in the Punt Road atmosphere, and super excited to play in front of those fans at Punt Road. So hopefully it'll be a really good atmosphere.
That's right. So obviously not really been in an official preseason yet, but who are some players that you've kind of got to mix with a little bit throughout this on-off period since coming to the club officially in December?
Yeah, so I know Libby Graham already from the Tigers. So she played at Giants when I was there in my first year, and I knew her for a few years before that from just Sydney footy. So it's been really good to reconnect with her again. So she's been hanging out with Jodie and I, because obviously we're all from Sydney, and so yeah, it's been really nice to see her again and just hang out. And it's been awesome to get to know all of the girls. Really, everyone's so lovely, and there's so many girls that I get along with. But there's Grace Egan. She's been awesome. She's such a friendly girl. So she's made all of us feel welcome. And Sarah Hosking. And there's a few of the newer girls as well, Montana McKinnon and Mackenzie Ford. So it's been nice to hang out with those girls and sort of connect with people who are new as well. So I feel like you find yourself gravitating towards people who are a bit newer as well. So it's been nice to have like a bunch of different groups to sort of gravitate towards.
That's definitely for sure. Obviously, you're mainly designed to play as a midfielder, Ally, but what would you say some of your biggest strengths as a footballer?
I think I've always sort of been naturally a good runner. So I think I really like to bring that on the field by two-way running. As a midfielder, I think getting to both ends is really important, and so I try to bring that element into my game. I'd say my follow-ups and my tackling, I like getting in and under, and then also being that outside option, and just starting the handball chain. And I love to handball rather than kick, so any chance I get, I'll be giving the handball. So I love to sort of set up that handball chain and just give and go and keep going up the field using my hands. So
nice, that's good. So what would you say some goals you set for yourself this year? Obviously a new club, different pressure, I suppose, coming into a new club. What are some goals you set for yourself this year?
I think obviously coming to a new club, there's so many different things that you want to work on. But I think working with a new midfield and a new midfield coach, I definitely want to just nail my midfield craft and sort of increase my clearance game. So I want to be more of a sort of impactful player around contests and clearance. Hopefully, building a really good connection with our mids and our midfield coach. So working on that. And I'd also love to learn a new role, maybe try a new position in forward, just so I have that as a backup. I think having a bit of depth in what I can do, so not just narrowing it down to the midfield, and being able to learn a different role as well would be important, so I can kick some goals.
That'd be awesome. And as you mentioned, you hinted at it there, versatility is very important these days at any level, because, as you said, if you play one position and you're struggling in that position, you're more than likely going to find yourself out, whereas someone that's versatile might get thrown into a different spot if they're either just needing, or they've got that capability to play other spots.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the best teams that you see are the ones that you can, people can kind of play everywhere. Like the best midfields that I've played have been the ones that they sort of have 4 or 5 different girls going through the midfield, and there's not just the three ones that are dominating. There's everyone that runs through the midfield dominates. So the Melbourne Demons, for example, they're always super tough to play against because they have such versatile players, and you see girls playing half forward, and then they're in the mids, and then they're on the wings. So yeah, I think if we can do that here, we'll be really dangerous.
Sure. Now, obviously, you do some work outside for the Watability program, Ally. Tell us a bit about that and kind of what got you into that.
Yeah, so I joined Watability a couple of years ago now. I think very early stages when they were doing the athlete program. So I got on board with that when I was in Sydney, obviously, and I was doing disability support work through another company. And then I got on through Watability, a few years ago through Keegan Hipgrave, who was the athlete manager at the time. And since then, it's blown up. It's been awesome to see how many athletes they've had on board. But yeah, basically, we'll take our clients out on day trips. We'll go to the movies, or we'll go to watch sport. Pretty much just getting these people with a disability out into the community and just bringing the fun into their lives. So it's been awesome to be able to get involved with that. And obviously they do have a branch down in Melbourne as well, but I haven't been able to do that yet because I've had different opportunities with my other jobs. So yeah, hopefully I get back to doing that soon. But they're an awesome company, and it's so much fun to work with. And I think if we can increase how many athletes that are actually support workers, it'll be awesome. They're just it's just awesome what they're doing, and how many different partners are connecting with Watability now, and it's great to see.
Sure, it definitely sounds good job done on that. Now, obviously, in 2022, it was a great year for you as well. Not only your debut season, but obviously got the best first-year player in the competition. I'm sure that's a pretty huge honour to get, because that's not even just in the team; that's the whole competition.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to be nominated for that. So I think this is for the AFL MVP Awards. I was nominated for the best first year player, but I don't think I won it in the whole comp, so I won't take credit for that. But I was nominated for the Giants, so yeah, it was pretty cool. Obviously, there was a few really good first year players in the Giants with Ally Morfitt, and who's obviously a superstar now. So yeah, to be the best first year in that strong year of skills was pretty awesome. But yeah, I don't think I won the whole comp, but I won't claim that.
That's fair enough. Now, this can kind of relate to either the Giants or Richmond, because obviously just gotten into the Tigers at the moment. So who loves the limelight, the attention, the camera at either of those two clubs that you've been a part of, and they can't get enough of it, and they know exactly what to do when that camera's around?
I'd say at the Giants, for some reason, Nicola Barr always found herself in front of the camera. She absolutely, she loves it, and she always knew what to do when the camera is around. So yeah, definitely her. Here, I'm not too sure yet. I've still got to figure it out, because obviously we're not in full training yet. We've just been doing like sort of casual stuff, but I'd probably say the camera would probably find Grace Egan a fair bit. And I'm sure she loves it. But yeah, no, definitely Nick Barr at the Giants, and I'm sure she still does.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good answer there. And I probably could add Sarah Hosking to that list. Now, I've only met her a few times, but I know there was a phase last year. I don't know if you've ever seen or heard about it. She was trying to find someone to do a collaboration post on Instagram with, and she kept going all this time. She originally tried to get a photo tag collab post with someone from, I can't remember the club. I think it was someone from Essendon, and they refused to do it. So Sarah put out like this plea basically to, get someone to do one. So she said, if you ever had a photo with me or anything like that, put it up and I'll accept one that I will pick. So I just randomly did it because I met her in the grand final week. So I put it up, and then she accepted it. And now she's just doing this every week with her sister Jess, with everyone else. So that's I suppose Sarah could be another one you could put in that spot too.
Yeah, she's definitely one. I'll have to get a photo and do a collab post with her. But I'm yet to have one, so maybe I'll get one this season. But yeah, I know she loves the collab post, and she'll always accept it now. So yeah,
I know. He accepted mine, so I mean, I felt pop up. But anyway, that's good. Nice of her. Okay, so nicknames, Ally. Do you get any nicknames at the clubs that you like or dislike?
I get quite a few nicknames just because of my name. It can be a bit catchy. Ally Dallaway. My first name's kind of in my last name, so I get Al Dal a lot. I get Al. I get Dal. They're the main ones, I think, or Dallas. But yeah, at the Giants, I got Al Dal quite a bit. So I think that's starting to carry over here, or Dal. So
that's good. Now, we talked about goals earlier. Have you got a particularly go-to goal celebration, Ally, that you've got in the back pocket for when that first goal does happen? Is there a certain celebration that you're waiting to pull out?
Oh, I don't have one waiting, but I always wonder what celebration I'm going to do when I do kick my first goal. Because knowing me, I'll probably get really excited. I think in the Swans game a couple of years ago, I celebrated too early before I'd scored a goal, so I kicked the goal and I hit it behind and I celebrated. So now since then, I've been really thinking about being careful not to celebrate too early. So I think I'd probably just go the double fist or something like that. But who knows what'll happen on the spot, because you never know what you're going to do, like when I celebrated from my behind. So
well, you've had a go-to behind celebration before a goal celebration, but that's okay. That'd be good one. Very good. Now, mark or goal of the year, Ally, which one would you rather do and why?
I reckon probably goal of the year. I feel like people probably remember the goals more. Obviously marks are awesome, and they take a very, very strong skill set, but I feel like the goals, probably get more attention. So I'll probably go the goal.
Absolutely. I mean, when I did play, I played up 4 and I still do goal king challenges now, which you may know about. And then, it's like you said, they're always so memorable. And I mean, the marks are great too, don't get me wrong, but they're ones that you kind of can gloat about. We can gloat about both, and just admire your work and replay it over and over again.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely goal. When that happens, maybe I'll keep goal of the year. Who knows? But yeah, probably not.
Pretty cool for sure. Now, any favorite TV shows or movies that you have?
My all-time favorite movie is probably Benchwarmers. It's a classic. But TV shows, I have like a few TV shows, but they're very teenage, like teenager vibes. Like when I was growing up, I just haven't been able to go past like Vampire Diaries and Gossip Girl and things like that. Like just the classic teenage TV shows. I'm also a sucker for reality TV, like the Kardashians and Love Island. So whenever I'm looking for an easy watch, that's definitely what I go to. But yeah, I'm definitely a Vampire Diaries girl. So
now you mentioned that Love Island. Now, there's not about that show in particular, but like those type of shows. Do you feel like those shows are really staged, or do you think they're legit? Because I actually spoke to someone recently who's been a part of some of them shows, and they tried to. I don't really believe them. They say it's not scripted. Do you feel like they're not staged? Apparently, do you feel that they are?
I reckon they are, definitely. I even think, the producers on those shows, they'll set stuff up for things to happen. And I've heard people that have come off those shows, and they've even said that they'll sort of do things or say things to make things people act a certain way. So 100%, I reckon they're staged, because surely not some of the things that happen and the things that people say in that show, I'm like, surely this is not real.
I know. It amazes me when I heard someone say that, and I've heard the other as well. But one I asked recently, they said that it was not staged, and I just laughed. But anyway, now, what do you feel, Ally, is the best individual game you've ever played in the AFLW so far?
Whole AFLW is hard, but I think last season, probably some of my best games were against the Demons and the Crows. I think in my first year, I remember having quite a good game against the Demons as well. So must be something in that. But I'd say those two last seasons. And a couple of seasons ago, I think it might have been season 2022, there was a game against the Swans where it was our first ever Sydney derby. So that for me was pretty memorable, not just on individual performance, but on team performance. So it was quite a memorable game just because it was the first ever one, and it was pretty awesome.
That's good. Now, this question, again, it can relate to the Giants or Tigers, or it can relate to anyone in the competition, but who do you feel it kind of flies under the radar a little bit in the AFLW competition? Doesn't get talked about as much as you feel that they should?
Oh, that's a hard one. I feel like if I'm looking at Giants, I'd say, I mean, she's probably going to be on the radar this season, but Cambridge McCormick from the Giants, she, I think the last few seasons she's just been growing so much as a player, and Maddie Brasendale. So I, definitely think those two girls have had a few years to develop, and I reckon they're going to be some superstar players that probably don't get recognised enough at the moment, but they definitely will soon. I think there's quite a few players like that in the competition. I think at Giants, Tigers, I'm not too sure yet, obviously, because I haven't I've been injured this last month, so I haven't been fully into training yet, but definitely from what I've noticed so far, Kate Dempsey, she's an absolute workhorse, and I don't think she probably gets recognised enough in terms of her, because of her position, and she's a winger, but I think some of the stuff that she does off the ball and the running that she does, she's awesome and definitely one to watch.
That's got some good names that you mentioned there, Ellie. So your toughest opponent in your 30 games so far, who would you say has probably been your toughest opponent to match up on?
Oh, I definitely reckon probably the toughest opponent would be either Ebony Marinoff or literally the whole of Melbourne Demons midfield. They're all such a great midfield. Like I said before, they're so good because every one of them is amazing. And no matter who you come up on in that midfield, they're like absolute superstars. And so they're just hard runners. But Eb Marinoff, and she's a superstar, and she's just so hard at the contest. So I think every time you've got the ball there to win, she just does everything she can to win it. And so just being able to play against someone like that is awesome because you learn so much from them as well. But definitely her, or the whole Demons midfield.
I mean, it's so beneficial too, playing on the better players, even when you're in the competition, because it just makes you better to know, okay, you're at this level already, and that's great, but these players are at the very top, and you kind of know what their next jump what it takes to get to their next jump. Yeah,
definitely, and I think that's what's been so good about coming to the Tigers, is because they're already such a strong field, and obviously Mon, best player in the comp, and to be able to learn her, and just we'll be playing against each other at training, and then playing with each other at training. So it's such a good opportunity to be able to learn off them.
Sure. What's something someone does at the club, at either club, that you can't stand, whether it's just like leaving rubbish around, just being flat out annoying? Is there a certain habit that someone's got that just ticks you off?
First thing that comes to mind, I remember at Giants, Tanya Evans used to always leave her wet boots in the change room, and it always used to stink. So Pepper Randall, she put a ban on bringing our wet boots in the change room. So definitely that. But I think that's the only one I can think of at the moment. It's a pretty bad one though.
You get that at least, or the wet boot side of things.
Yeah.
Now, was jump scaring ever a thing that Giants? I know a lot of the Swans girls, having chatted to a fair few and just seeing it publicly online a lot, was jump scaring something the girls of the Giants tried doing? Because I know a lot of the Sydney girls that did it, they succeed in that. And have you ever fallen victim to that? If not, are you one more to do the scaring or be scared?
There was a few at the Giants last season, but I wasn't involved in that, luckily. But I reckon I would probably be the one to do the scaring, but knowing me, I'd probably get jump scared because I'm a sucker for falling for that. So I reckon if someone tried to do it to me, I'd 100% jump. Even just at home, if Jodie walks out of the room and I don't know she's there, I'll jump. So no doubt that'll happen to me.
What are some fun facts about you, Ally, that people may not know about you?
Oh, this is a hard one. Fun fact about me. I can only think of. I used to. So when I was younger, I used to do swimming. So I thought I was going to become a swimmer. Also did gymnastics when I was younger. So yeah, I don't know where all these sports, how they ended up at footy. Another one is I'm technically lactose intolerant, but I still eat dairy every day. So that's always fun.
Interesting. So that definitely is a fun fact for sure. Now, defenders, Ally, I feel like they deserve a bit more love, especially at AFLW competition. You know, you always hear about the midfielders, you always hear about the forwards, and you know the mids, the Brownlows centred towards midfielders and rucks get recognised in that now, and obviously the forwards got the common. Do you feel that the defenders deserve their own official title of an award as well, like those other positions have?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they're obviously the backbone of the team, and without defenders you wouldn't be able to win games really. So I definitely think they go under recognised, and a Brownlow award is obviously a midfielder's award, but there'd be so many defenders out there who would be deserving of it. So I definitely reckon there should be an award. We actually, at the Giants, I think it was last season, they brought in a defenders award at the presentation night, which was nice. So I think we'll probably see a few more clubs starting to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be the right way to start things for sure. If your teammates were to describe you at either club in a word or a sentence, how would they describe you as?
I would like to think that they describe me as energetic and funny. Hopefully, I'd hope that they would describe me as that. But yeah, I would say probably energetic.
That's a good one. All right, so now this is the part where I bring the hot topic food questions here, Ally, because people in Australia, I don't know why they get so worked up over these questions. So I want to see how you go. Just for clarity, I've asked probably over 100 people these 6 questions. Only 11 people have got all 6 questions correct. Only 6 people have said the illogical wrong answer for this first question, and the lowest score anyone's ever got is about 30 odd people on 3. So let's see how you go. The first one, the most controversial one, chicken palmy. Is it a palmy or is it something else?
It's definitely a palmy.
Thank you. I mean, it's a non really, isn't it? I mean, I argue for anyone that says the opposite, Ally, I just tell them to pronounce it or spell it out. You know, you get P-A-M-I. So any other letter they want to use in combination is wrong.
I don't get it, but I noticed that's a thing down in Melbourne. Is a lot of people say Palmer, and I'm like, no, that's wrong.
Yep, I agree. I'm from Geelong, so I just tell them that I say the same thing. I hear that, and I just tell them they're wrong if they want to debate it. Second one, pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
All right. Okay, 1 for 2. I'm not. It's all good. All right, tomato sauce, cupboard or fridge?
I go cupboard, but I know it belongs in the fridge, but I go cupboard.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't care either, but I'll cop cupboard because if I had to say one, I'd say the same thing. So 2 for 3. Favorite food?
Favorite food, I would say is potatoes, because you can have them as chips. You can have it as mashed potato, and then you can have it as crisps as well. So because of their versatility, I'm going to say I love potatoes.
That's a really well thought out, smart answer there, because you just combined it for all different types of food with the same eggs. That's very good. So I'll cop that. 3 for 4. Food you don't like?
I hate anchovies.
I'm the same. That's another good one. 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
That's good. And the final food one. Favorite takeaway place or type of food?
Favorite takeaway? I would say I love either Mexican or Thai.
Okay. I like that. Have you got a specific go-to order for Mexican or Thai food?
If I was to get Mexican, I'd probably get, like, if I was getting more of a takeaway, I'd go for Guzman burrito bowl.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, or if I was going Thai, I'd probably get like a pad see ew or a pad Thai with a cashew nut chicken and some spring rolls.
That's not bad. 5 out of 6. I'll take that. You just
I'll
fly
take
through
that.
that. Oh, and that's very good. I always got worried when some people, if they start off bad, I go, oh no, but you fly through, so that's good. All right. So, what would you say is some of your most prized possessions that you own?
It's got to be my phone, obviously. Probably my phone, I'd say. Because probably wouldn't be able to survive without it.
I'm the same, and I mean, I'm only a year older than you. It's just like you still need it. Like, how are you going to communicate, Ellie, without one? I mean, some people, it doesn't have to be their top priority. I mean, it is for me, and it is for you to just mention. But you need it. You actually need it. Regardless if you're a fanatic on it or not, you need it.
Yeah, you actually need it. So yeah, we literally wouldn't be able to survive without it. So I'm going to say my phone because it's got me through some times when I've really needed something, and my phone's always been there. So.
Smart answer. Now, this is the part where teammates' hearts may get broken, Ellie, and teams may love you more and more for it. Again, either they can be Giants or Tigers. So, best chatterbox at the club?
Best chatterbox. Do you mean like who's the most chatty or who's the best to chat to?
Yeah, either or. You can combine it to each way you want. Yeah.
I'd say at Tigers, when I first moved, I noticed that, like, obviously when I met all the girls and was chatting to a lot of different people, but yeah, Grace Egan is, she's someone that loves to chat, and she's really good at chatting to people and making them feel welcome. So yeah, I definitely noticed her when I first met her. But Libby Graham as well is one that she probably flies under the radar because not many people would know, but yeah, she loves to chat, and she can sort of chat to anyone. So I would say I'm going to throw her under the bus and say that she's a chatterbox.
But like I always stress enough to people, Ellie, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing to be a chatterbox or any of the other topics in this category that I'm about to bring up. So, loudest and quietest teammates, who would you say they are?
Loudest would probably be, I'm just trying to think. To be fair, I know I've just said her, but Grace is pretty loud.
That's
but yeah, there's quite a few girls at the club that are pretty loud. But quietest is hard because I feel like everyone is pretty outgoing. But at Giants, probably not a bad thing. But Emily Pease she was on the quieter side, but she's such a loving person. So you just know that was just how she was. But yeah, she was one that just flew under the radar a bit.
Yeah, that's a good answer. And if you were stuck on a desert island with teammates, Ellie, who are you bringing and not bringing, and why?
I reckon if I was to bring someone, it would be either Libby Graham, because she could probably just talk her way out of it and we'd somehow get off, or Maddie Shevlin. She's actually she seems like she's really onto it, and she's full of surprises. So I'd say probably those two, or to not have on the island, that's a really hard one because there's probably a few that would probably. I mean, I probably wouldn't pick myself, but
is there any particular trait of someone that you wouldn't bring? If there's not a specific person that comes to mind, is there a particular trait of someone that you wouldn't want coming? Like, for example, if you were to say, if you do X, Y, Z, you're not coming. Is there any particular thing like that?
I reckon I can think of a few girls who are my good mates from Giants. I probably wouldn't bring Tiny Evans because she's a bit of an airhead and she'll probably forget something and we'd probably end up like somewhere that we're not meant to be. So yeah, she's probably someone that I wouldn't bring, but love her to bits. But yeah, she's an absolute she's a cracker.
Nice, that's good. All right, so you did all right there. So, all right, now got some more for you, and then I'll wrap it up with a quiz at the very end. So I do appreciate coming on. So, game day superstitions, Ellie. Do you have any game day superstitions that you must do?
No, I don't. Luckily enough, my prep is pretty standard. So I don't have any superstitions.
That's good. So, what do you say to some people that do have them, and what would you think? How would you react if you had something and you couldn't do it? Like, for example, if someone's supposed to, I don't know, get a coffee from some certain place, they have to get it from every time, and then the machine's not working or they're closed, and like you're breaking your routine. What can you do to change it? So I've heard some people that say that, and I throw that back to them. I go, "What would you do?" And they go, "I don't know. I'd probably be angry," and then you get thrown off.
Yeah, it'd be hard. I'm lucky that I don't have anything too bad like that. But I would feel really bad for the girls who are very strict with that stuff. But it's something that when things like that go wrong, you kind of just have to roll with it and just go with the flow. So
that's right. Now, obviously, at the Giants, you wore jumper number 30. Have you got a current jumper number for the Tigers, or is that still up in the air?
Yeah, so I picked number 30 at the Tigers as well, just to make it nice and easy. When I saw 30 was free, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go with that because it was my number before, so it's just easy.
That's right. Yep. Keep the trend going. I like it. Favorite music?
Oh, favorite music. I listen to a bit of a range. Like I love just any sort of radio music. I can listen to whatever. But if I was to pick, I do like a lot of a big range of music, mind you. So like bands like Spacey Jane, Ocean Alley, so your surf rock music, and then I don't mind a bit of techno every now and then. So I've got a bit of a range for different occasions.
Nice. The mixture is good. I just have to ask this question about music because some people get so worked up over this individual. Are you a Taylor Swift person?
I wouldn't call myself a Swiftie, but I do love her music and appreciate it. But I'm not like a huge, dedicated fan. But I do like her music.
So the reason I bring it up now, again, I'm like you. I'm like, I don't mind it. But I'm no Swiftie either, even though some people think I am because I keep bringing this up. So if there's ever anyone that's annoying you, Ellie, and they don't like Taylor Swift, I unintentionally did this. This is a true story. I'll insert a fake name here. I'll name him John for this scenario. So one day, John was just being really annoying, and I just told him to shake it off. Obviously, the Taylor Swift reference, right? And he cracked it. And I didn't use that reference on purpose, and he just cracked it up. So if you ever want to annoy anyone, just that hates Taylor Swift, and they do, I just use those references. And the other one that I use is all you got to do is hate off that song, and they lose it. So if you ever want to annoy someone like Taylor Swift and they're annoying you, just pull something out like that, and if they want to keep annoying you, they might want to stop.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
To top it all off, if I've got the power like this interview here on the StreamYard, obviously can play and put on pictures and banners and everything like that. I've actually got that song in the archives, if you will, for that individual. When he wants to annoy me, I'll just play it, and then he'll stop very quickly.
That's one way to do it.
Now, all right, so I'll wrap it up for a quiz here. Actually, I'll do one more before the quiz. So if you were in charge of the AFLW, CEO, Ali, for a day, what rule would you add and or remove. You can be as unrealistic as you want here. You're in charge. What rule are you adding? Are you adding a longer season? Something about the umpire, the rules. What are you adding or removing?
I would definitely add our season, so make sure we play everyone. It's obviously a bit hard playing only 10 to 11 games. So if anything, just play everyone once. That's all I'm asking.
I agree with you. I mean, it'll rule out the talk of everything, being unfair and, the top team playing a lot of the bottom teams and everything like that. It'll remove that argument, won't it? Because you would have played everyone once. No one can whinge and say they got someone at a better time.
Yeah, definitely. And you don't have to rely on hoping to get a good draw. You play everyone once and that's fair. So
exactly. So I'll wrap it up with this quiz, Ellie. So I do appreciate it. So how this will work, I've got 3 players here. They are current teammates of yours, either at Richmond or previous teammates at GWS. How do you feel you go about knowing some of your ex and current teammates?
We'll see how it goes.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so the first one, nice and easy to start things off. They've played 30 career games and they've recently joined a second club.
Is that me?
Good, perfect. One for one. I like sound off live. Fun fact too, Ellie, for some reason you didn't, but a lot of people struggle about the question about themselves more than they do about the others. I feel like maybe because I'm tricking them thinking that they're not getting mentioned in it. That's the only thing I can think of.
Good question.
3 questions. Right. The other few. All right, so this person, she's originally from Sydney, is in this state, and she's now a 2-time All-Australian player in the AFLW competition.
Ally Sheeran?
Perfect. And I've actually had a leash on a few times, and I don't mean to brag, and I'm going to bring up this because I know when I did this, I did a golking comp with her late in the year with Ali Morris from the Pies as well, and I beat them both, and I let her know about it because they both were, they picked the location and everything, and they lost, and I beat them. So I let Alicia still know that. But yes, she's a 2-time All-Australian, so she's got a better thing, but I still brag about that. All right, so 2 for 2. So the last one, all right. So this player is not only a rising star, they're the rising star in their career. They won the Rising Star Award, and they had a breakout game last year where they had over 20 disposals and kicked 4 to 5 goals in that one game. And you might have played in that game.
Charlie Goldsworthy, surely.
Yep. Nice. I thought I did pretty crazy. You did pretty well for yourself, Ali. I really do appreciate it. It's been great having you on, and all the best the rest of the year at the Tigers, and hopefully it goes well for you. And that debut goal, hopefully that's very soon. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me on. So, it's been awesome.
Thanks, Ali.